Hey everybody, let's jump right on in. Happy Thursday. I'm really excited about today's topic. We're going to talk about planning, the third step in the strategic planning process, especially for those of you that are preparing to launch a business in 2019. I hope that this process is really helping you as you are developing your plans, as you understand the depth of your vision, your mission, your values, and all that you seek to really manifest in 2019. I want to really make sure that I'm providing you guys with information that you can leverage instantaneously as a means to really living in the fullness of the promises of God. One of the things that I will say, and we will talk more about this tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will dive into the last step, the fourth and final step, which is action or implementation. Hey, good evening, Lorinda. Hello, Lawanda. Hello, everybody. So with that being said, today we're going to talk about the word plan. I posted that word today because it's really important that we understand planning, and more so importantly, let me say this, it is my hope that you all understand when I do these videos specifically on my Facebook page, I do them specifically for those of you that desire to truly live kingdom, right? One of the things that I noticed a lot as I was out, doing speaking engagements or as I've been training in companies, I would meet so many believers who would ask me questions after I spoke. And just answering those questions, one of the things that I realized is, oh my God, we are really struggling to live in the fullness of who we were created to be, to live our full kingdom mandate, because we're struggling against the world and against our kingdom assignment, right? And so with that being said, one of the things that you will always hear me say is that I seek to raise up divergent leaders that understand, Shalom Dedra, that understand that you have to let kingdom lead. You have to let your predestinated assignment and state of being lead. You have to make sure that God's plan goes forward before your plan, that the full manifestation of who you are when you opt into being a believer, because that is an optional process. That is an optional thing. And so when you opt into being a believer and living as a believer, there's a certain requirement, there's a standard, there's a certain character, there's a certain nature that has to be manifested in the earth. Many of us have compromised our kingdom nature. We've compromised our kingdom character just so that we can have money, we can have houses, we can have cars, we can have all this stuff. And so this is why we have the discrepancies betwixt. You can't tell Adam from Eve and Eve from Adam and vice versa. So with that being said, today, as we talk about planning, one of the things that I want to make sure that you hear, is Proverbs 16:3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. What does establish means? It means he will make firm, he will make your plans stable, he will cause your plans to grow and to multiply, okay? I want to say that because for some reason, I'm not sure what it is, but for some reason, we don't believe that if we pursue a kingdom agenda, if we pursue living by the kingdom mandate, that it won't work, right? It won't fit. It won't look like wealth. It won't look like prosperity. It won't look like total health and healing. It won't look like that. For some reason, we believe that. And this is why you have people just, totally forfeiting the faith to do any and everything that they want to do. And so I think it's critical that we hear that. Also, seek ye first the kingdom, and all other things will be added unto you. These are scriptures that I hold on to as I seek to live in my most authentic state, as I seek to live in the fullness of who I am called and created to be. I don't want to leave my mantle at home when I go to work. I don't want to leave my mantle at home when I go to do business. I want to show up in the fullness and authenticity of who I am, because when I do that, I notice that I give the best pieces of myself when I get to show up in the totality of who I was created to be. The wisdom that I operate in, the level of revelation that I operate in, the level of strategy that I am able to deliver in a strategic planning session is times 10 when you allow me to show up in the full depth and breadth of who I am. So with that being said, I want to give you guys some additional scripture references as we go through this process. So as we talk about developing or devising your strategic plan, That foundational scripture is just to help you to understand that. Make sure that you understand your predestinated state. Make sure that you understand God's will, his purposes, his agenda before you begin building out your plans. So that way, whatever plans that you establish, whatever plans that you build out, you build them out to further the kingdom agenda. Okay? And so what does that mean? And I'll just give you a quick example. He said, I came to set the captives free. Does your business, does the activities that you've allocated to perform next year, do those activities lend themselves to setting people free? Or do those activities lend themselves to further binding people up? So I challenge you guys to really understand the will and purposes of God. I challenge you to understand heaven's vision for the earth and not your very own, so that you can tie those into your planning processes, so that you can tie those into your vision and you can build on those so that you have a firm foundation and you don't find yourself wavering as a believer, going back and forth betwixt, trying to live kingdom and trying to live in the world. The reason why you waver is because you are allowing the other state to take precedence. So with that being said, in order to plan effectively, we talked about your vision, we talked about your mission, we talked about your values. And so with that being said, we talked about conducting a SWOT analysis on the front end, not waiting till the end when you've made a few decisions, but conducting it on the front end so that you can really see the opportunities and, see the weaknesses, see the strengths, to see really what you have access to and what you really can work with, so that you can really build your goals around the opportunities and the possibilities versus just your limited reference points of your past or your experiences or what you've done. So with that being said, what are your goals? You need to understand and have clarity on your goals. You understand SMART goals. You've heard 1,000 people, talk about that. Go back and Google it, find out what SMART goals are. Establish your goals. Once you've established your goals, then you need to sit down and you really need to understand what actions are necessary in order to bring these goals to pass. What actions are necessary to achieve these goals? And what I'm challenging you guys to do is to really get down to the minute details as well. Don't just put overarching, write a book, right? Don't just put overarching, get new clients, because understand, what does it take to get new clients? And I'll use that as an example. For those of you that are building businesses, a lot of times when you set goals, you'll say, you know what, I'm going to get some new clients next year, or I'm going to get 10 new clients. Well, what is really required in that? What is the marketing behind that? What marketing materials do you need, right? What is the marketing message behind that? You need to go through a whole messaging process. What activities need to happen? How many networking events are you going to go to? Are you going to hire an ad agency? Are you going to, there's so many elements that go into getting and acquiring new customers. And so a lot of times we don't reach our goals and we don't do all that we're capable of because we don't get down into the minute details of what is really required in order to see a goal come to pass. And so one of the things when I'm working with clients that I help them to understand, it's not enough just to say, this is what I need to happen or this is what I'm going to do, but you need to understand all that is required so that you can allocate your time and your resources accordingly. So that you can get and let me say this, even how many team members do you need? How many volunteers do you need to make this thing happen? So that you understand, and then what are the qualifications of those volunteers? So there's a lot that goes into action planning, and this is why many fail, because they don't understand the depth and breadth of action planning. You just think, I'm going to set a goal and then I'll get to it when I get to it. But if you want to achieve success, the thing that you have to do is to sit in that goal and you have to really walk through what is really required for me to make this thing happen. What are all the pieces? What assets do I need even? What is my budget, right? You have to think through these things, because if you need $500 to make this thing happen, if you wait until you actually go to fulfill that goal or, follow through with those action items, guess what's going to happen? When you don't have the $500, you're not going to do it. But had you planned for that $500 on the front end, and you knew in December when you set and established those goals and you walked through that action plan that $500 was going to be necessary, guess what you would have done? You would have been more mindful of it, and you would have built that $500 over 6 months versus waiting till the 2 weeks before when you need it. So with all of that being said, also, let me throw this out. Luke 14:28 says, suppose one of you who wants to build a tower, won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? One of the things that causes us to fail is money. one of the things that you really have to do is understand what your options are, okay? Because so many things, there are many things that you can do with, you can do it with $5,000 or you can do it with $500. So sometimes when it's a life or death scenario where you're going to die if you don't complete this thing, you need to take the other road. I know you want the $5,000 way, but guess what, honey? You don't have $5,000. So because you don't have $5,000, I'm going to need you to opt into the $50 option just so you can produce that thing and you can experience the freedom and release of that production. Okay. One of the things that I always challenge my clients to do not let money stop you. I don't care if you have to call somebody and say, listen, I have this product, I have this service, and I know you have need of it. I'm going to sell it to you so that I can get the $500 that I need. You have to figure out a way to make this stuff happen, because this is what happens when you don't release a thing. It stays on the inside of you and it builds up. So then now you done came up with another creative idea. You didn't release that thing. Now that thing just built up on the inside of you. Now you are constipated with purpose, right? Now you up here, you're frustrated. You got all of this creativity bottled up on the inside of you because you never released stuff. Now you mad at the world. Now you frustrated with everybody, all because you didn't release, okay? One of the things when you hear me talk about being a divergent leader, when you hear me talk about divergent thinking, when I do those trainings, I help people really to understand what I mean by that. See, the divergent thinker, they don't think along the normal scales of, okay, this is how I'm going to approach this thing. They don't look at the, necessarily the easiest ways to fix a thing or to solve a problem. Divergent thinkers, they actually assess things from a higher standpoint. They climb up the mountain and they look down and they look around and they see what all their options really are from up on top, right? Divergent leaders don't just consider their resources when they are trying to think and figure something out. Divergent thinkers, they actually go in and they say, you know what? I may not have the money, but this is an option for me. Now I need to get the money. Okay. So with that being said, and I won't go into a whole divergent thinking, and this is why I always challenge you guys. I know y'all used to these traditional trainings out here that get you excited and get you all in your feelings. But one of the things that I keep trying to tell y'all, hype is awesome, right? You need motivation. You need somebody to come along periodically and lift you up and pull you up out the gutter and get you excited. But see, what you really need is to be taught. What you really need is understanding. Because when you understand a matter, if you understand creativity, the way that you operate in it, it will change your very life and your ability to produce. If you understand thinking and how to do it on a different means, let me help you understand something. If you understand how to think for yourself, you can think your way out of poverty. You can think your way out of lack. This is why I don't offer this traditional content to creation, pain and purpose. I don't offer that kind of crap, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to teach you how to birth things. I'm trying to teach you how to uproot yourself out of that stuff, because this is the thing. Yes, you can find purpose in your pain, but what you gonna do with it once you recognize it? See, these are the things that I'm asking you. What are you going to do with it once you recognize that there is purpose in that pain? How then are you going to use it to fix somebody else's life? How then are you going to use it to transform another life? How then are you going to use it to change your generational and break generational curses? See, I'm talking about the action after you have recognition. What actions are you going to take? See, most of us, we like to be aware of stuff. And then this is why we frustrated, y'all. This is why we're struggling. So as you're planning, I'm really challenging you to understand what it is that you're doing. I'm really challenging you to really gain understanding as we go into 2019, so that we can start to birth things, so we can break generational curses, so that we can learn how to better communicate, so that we can think our way out of poverty, we can think our way out of lack, so that we can create new thoughts and ideas and birth them in the marketplace and become forerunners in our industries, so that we can become trendsetters in the industries that we serve. This is what I'm trying to help people to do, right? All that stuff is great. Like, I know you like to be hyped up. I know, but what I'm challenging all of you guys next year is to limit the hype. Go put your toe in the water when you need a little hype. But then get up out that thing real fast, because listen, you got to start acting on this stuff. We have to start producing, because the next generation depends on your production. Your children's inheritance is directly linked to your ability to produce. The reason why your children having to start from scratch, the reason why our generations keep having to start from scratch, because we don't have nothing. We ain't created nothing. You had that whole lifetime that you spent, you had a lifetime to create an inheritance. And even if the inheritance was, baby, I'm going to teach you how to think on a whole new level. Baby, listen, I didn't have the tools and the resources to create. I didn't have the money to do what I needed to do. But let me tell you what I'm finna do. I'm going to give you a head start, because I'm going to teach you how to think for yourself. I'm going to teach you how to create. I'm going to teach you how to monetize everything that flows from you. I'm going to teach you how to operate in your power. I'm going to teach you how to live with freedom. I'm going to teach you how to sit worry on the table, or I'm going to teach, and better yet, I'm going to teach you how to deal with that thing so that you can keep moving forward and you can do what needs to be done. I'm challenging you guys as we go into 2019 to do this one a little bit differently, okay? Because we've lived on decades of hype and motivation, right? We've experienced a decade of hype. We've experienced a decade of motivation, and we still have a dysfunctional generations. We still have people that are struggling, trying to, the wealthy keep getting wealthier because we buying into the hype while they out here taking action. I'm just trying to help y'all to understand. See, they got you tied up in the hype while they out here taking action and doing what's necessary to get the money. See, they all in your feelings while they out here getting paid. I'm just trying to challenge y'all to get out your feelings for 2 seconds, so that way you can think for yourself. To get out your feelings for I know it's hard. I know right where you at, you can't pay your bills. I know you struggling. I know everything is caving in on you. But what I need you, divergent leader, to do, I need you to step outside of the dysfunction for 2 seconds and assess that thing. Take a different perspective. Look at that thing from a different perspective this time. I need you to climb up a little higher. Step outside of this thing. I need you to find a different vantage point, and I need you to assess this thing for what it truly is. I need you to look at the depth of the matter, so that way you can really, this time when you come out, you can really come out. You don't have a sense of coming out, but you really came out this time because you dealt with that thing and you dealt with the root of the problem. You didn't just fix it, or you didn't just put flowers around, and you didn't decorate that thing. You didn't sit it up on the shelf, but you actually dealt with the root of the issue. And because you dealt with the root of the issue in the planning process, you got down to the core of what it was. Now you are able to manifest what it is that you desire. So with all of that being said, consider your budget, consider your assets, and also let me challenge you guys to do this. Be a better steward of what you have been entrusted with. We talked about that during the 12 days of discipline. We talked about stewardship. We talked about the discipline of stewardship. I challenge you guys to really, really become mindful of what is a want and a need. Some kind of way we've gotten those two crossed up. When you are building something different, when you are setting a new precedent, when you are trying to do something and create something new in the world, you literally have to change everything in your life, because most of your habits that you don't have an awareness of, they are fueling the dysfunction. They are fueling the poverty. They are fueling the lack. And a lot of it has to do with your stewardship. You are not a good steward. You waste. So yeah, you could have produced the book last year, but instead you wanted those $900 Louis Vuitton. Okay? You could have created the CD. You could have produced the CD at $100 an hour studio time. But guess what? No, you would rather have 4 new dresses this month. 2 months later, you got 5 new dresses. Then you had to have them new shoes. Then you had to have that bag because your girlfriend got the bag. Okay, fellas, y'all out here, y'all whining and dining and taking these women out to these expensive places. Y'all better help them to understand. Listen, boo-boo, I want you to be my wife. And because I want you to be my wife, we're going to have to simplify this thing. We're going to have to cut down on all these expensive date nights. I know you like Perry's Steakhouse. I know you want to go to the Tower. I get that, baby. But listen, I'm trying to set us up real nice. I'm trying to build something that our children's children can take hold of. So you got to sit down with her and say, listen, I want you to be my wife, but I need you to know what you're getting into. What you getting into is you finna deal with a real man that is a good steward of everything he has been entrusted with. If you in this thing for the money, I'm going to need you to sit down and get out the way, because I need somebody that's going to stand with me, that's going to support me as we build this next generation thing, as we build this new thing. So right now, I know you want to eat out all the time. We can't eat out, honey, because we're doing something new. So with all of that, guys, I just challenge you. 2019, become a better steward of your resources so that you can start to produce things that will set up an inheritance for the next generation. And this is what planning is about. When I'm talking about planning and I'm talking about vision, it is very important that you understand why you're doing what you're doing. So that way it becomes more real to you. Okay? It becomes more real to you when you understand why you're doing this thing. I'm doing what I'm doing because I want to give my daughter another option. I want my daughter to understand that she don't have to work a 9 to 5 if that ain't her heart. If she doesn't feel like she's called to a 9 to 5, you don't have to go to a 9 to 5, because I'm going to set the precedent. So if you choose a 9 to 5, that's one option for you. But I'm going to show you that there is another option. That's why I'm doing this, okay? I'm doing this so that I can buy land, okay? So that I can access the land that has been promised to me. I'm doing this so that I can build, and I have a vision of things that I want to do and things that I want to accomplish, that I want to see. And these things, and I can tell you every single thing that I have a desire for in this life. Let me tell you, I can tell you specifically how it furthers kingdom agenda. In my business plan, every single thing that I am desiring, every single thing that I am pursuing, in my business plan, it says this is how it furthers the kingdom agenda. I am very clear on that. There is nothing that I want that does not further the kingdom agenda. And I want just as many things as y'all want. Now, I'm not into all the, fancy clothes, and I don't do that lashes and the hair. I don't do all that kind of stuff. But I want the house. I want the land, right? I'm not necessarily into cars and all of that. I just need a car to get from point A to point B. But there are things that I desire in this life, but I understand how they further kingdom agenda. I understand why they are critical to what I am producing in this lifetime. And I just challenge you guys, as you're planning, to really get clear on some things, because this is why you keep finding yourself stuck. This is why it's very hard for you to produce. You don't have passion behind anything that you've planned out. You have no passion behind your vision because you don't really know why you're doing it. You just want a whole bunch of stuff because you've seen other people have it. So with all of that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I also want to leave you guys with Proverbs 15 and 22. It says, plans fail for the lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Okay? One of the things that I have really been adamant about over the last year of my life is being connected with people that are visionaries like myself. Being connected with people. And again, just because it says advisors and counsel, there's some people that advising you that you asking their opinion on and you need to quit. Right? This, I ain't talking about just because you pick, girl, you cute, I want you to advise me. No, when you ask people advice on things, you need to be asking people that's about that life. You need to be asking people that have actually done what you're trying to do. And then you need to ask people that haven't necessarily done what you're trying to do, but they are very successful. They are out here and they are in their respective industries. They are hungry. They are building. They are pursuing. They are fighting for something. This is why when you hear people talk about flying with eagles, that whole concept, I get it now, right? I get it. Because at the end of the day, if you got people advising on your business and they ain't never started a business, nor don't even have a thought of a business, and they're offering you advice on a business, you gonna be in trouble. So seek wise counsel, seek wise advisors, because as a divergent leader, one of the things that you have to understand is when you surround yourself with big thinkers, sometimes they think bigger than you, and they will give you ideas and they will give you insight that you didn't even consider. So surround yourself with strong people that are pursuing destiny, that are living, that are fighting for their future. Surround yourself with people that are getting it in, and ask their feedback. Ask for their advice as you're going through this planning process. Sit down with them and seek counsel as you're going through this process. The last scripture that I'm going to leave you guys with is Proverbs 19 and 21. Many are the plans of a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. And I meant to give y'all that one at first, but I forgot. Proverbs 19:21, his purpose always prevails. So what if for the first time in your life and your business that instead of just doing whatever you wanted to do, you went back to his purpose and you tied everything to the fulfillment of his purpose, because he seeks to fulfill his words. Okay. He seeks to fulfill his word. So tie everything back to his purpose and understand how what you are doing. And if your stuff ain't fulfilling kingdom purpose, don't be out here reaching and then your stuff look raggedy and he tear it up anyway. Okay. I'm challenging, and again, these videos that I do on my personal page, if you aren't trying to live kingdom, I do secular stuff. I still offer kingdom principles, but I keep it very secular and I keep it cut and dry. If that's what you desire, then go over to my business page and follow me over there, okay? And I keep it a little lighthearted over there, and I really don't post a whole bunch over there. For those who are really seeking kingdom content, it's right here. This is what I do on this page. Here you get the cut and dry, you get the straight up, no chaser. You get specifically everything that is designed to help you live kingdom. And so with that being said, y'all, I'm out of here. I will see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow we will talk about action and implementation. And then on Saturday, we will actually talk about vision. And God has been giving me some revelation on how to address vision on Saturday. So I won't do it. I won't do the whole thing like I traditionally do as I talk about vision, because there's some stuff we got to deal with. That's the root of the issue. And so on Saturday, I'm going to spend more time dealing with the root of the issue, why your vision is distorted, why you're having a hard time seeing. And because you can't see, you can't manifest nothing. We're going to talk about that thing. And we're going to really, y'all, 2019, I promise y'all this. For 2019, for those of you that will commit your will, commit your will to his, commit your purpose to his, commit your business to the kingdom, commit everything you have to furthering the kingdom agenda, all other things will be added unto you, and acceleration will be on everything that you produce, because you did it with authenticity and you did it as he predestined it. So with that being said, for all my divergent leaders out there, we are going a different direction. We are standing out. We're doing things differently. And we're going to lead the pack in 2019. Okay. We're going to set trends. We're going to lead industry. But the only way you do that is if you are divergent. If you don't follow the status quo. If you can't break free of the trends, don't follow this no more, because this ain't gonna help you at all. If you can't break free of the trends, don't follow. I'm gonna save you some time. Don't waste your time over here. It's not for you, honey. Okay. But if you are ready to break free of the pack, if you're ready to really live this thing and do what you know is only inside of you in its most authentic state, not worried about if it's going to work, if they like it, they don't like it, if they'll receive it, then keep following me. Keep riding with me, and let's do this thing, okay? Let's live this thing all out. Let's ride this thing out till the wheels fall off. 2019 is going to be our year. It's going to be the year of the believer. I am declaring that 2019 is the year of the believer. And no. Let's rephrase that. 2019 is the year of the follower, okay? The follower of Christ, because it's a whole bunch of believers out here. Yeah, you believe a thing, but are you willing to walk this thing out? Are you willing to make the word flesh, okay? 2019 is the year of the follower. For those of us that will commit everything to him and will do this thing authentically, there will be acceleration on it, and we're going to see manifestation like never before. That is my declaration. 2019 is the year of the follower. But you got to be willing to do what he told you to do. Obedience, okay? Obedient faith. Not just faith. Obedient faith. All right? Peace and blessings, guys. I love y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow, and we're going to do this thing all over again. Bye-bye, guys.